Let's be real for a second. If there's one character in the entire Family Guy universe who consistently gets the absolute shortest end of the stick, it is definitely Meg Griffin. But here's the thing. Every once in a while, Meg completely flips the script. When she gets pushed to the edge, or given a chance to shine, she delivers some of the most wild and straight-up interesting moments in the entire series. Today, we are taking a deep dive into the most interesting Meg Griffin moments in Family Guy. Let's start the show. We are kicking things off with Season 4, Episode 4, an episode that proves fame can be a highly dangerous double-edged sword. Have you ever wondered what would happen if the ultimate high school outcast got a complete glamorous makeover and became an overnight teen pop star? Well, Meg finds out the hard way, and it ends with one of the most painfully public and awkwardly intimate live TV embarrassments imaginable. We find Meg in her natural habitat, fawning over a boy she likes at school. Enter Craig Hoffman, a guy who looks like a motorcycle magically came to life. Meg's friends convince her to shoot her shot, so she gathers her courage and asks him to a movie.
Hi, Craig. I was wondering if maybe you'd want to, I don't know, go out sometime?
His response: he simply tells her he doesn't go out with dudes. Ouch. It is a brutal rejection that completely crushes her. Feeling completely defeated, Meg asks her parents a highly loaded question. Is she ugly?
Yeah, where'd you get a stupid idea like that?
Craig Hoffman.
Craig Hoffman said that? Well, he's a sharp kid. You might be ugly.
Lois tells her not to feel down about the kids at school and promises to take her out on a shopping spree to find some hot new outfits to cheer her up. But while shopping around the mall and trying on clothes, Meg receives some rather harsh, constructive criticism from a store attendant.
No matter what I wear, I look ugly.
Oh, Meg, you're being... Let's try down here.
However, as luck would have it, Channel 5 News is at the mall. Trisha Takanawa is handing out free makeovers for the most unappealing folks in town, and Lois manages to get the camera crew's attention.
Oh, that'd be just the thing to boost your confidence. Miss Takanawa! Miss Takanawa! Over here!
Meg returns home with a stunning new makeover that completely transforms her. It even impresses Peter, who compliments her in a way only Peter can, telling her he always thought she was beautiful just awake.
Don't I look great?
Oh, Meg, honey, I always thought you were beautiful just awake. God.
Back at school, Meg's bold new look draws a ton of stares from her classmates. She even manages to finally land a date with Craig Hoffman, who is suddenly very interested now that she is attractive.
Hey Meg, we noticed Craig Hoffman just asked you out. That makes you cool. Want to hang out with us?
Wow, sure!
But her journey to popularity doesn't stop there. Meg's newfound confidence skyrockets when she goes to support Peter's family band during their first performance at a local prison. She absolutely steals the show, and before you know it, Meg transforms into a massive pop star. The family's musical act becomes a huge hit, eventually scoring them a highly coveted gig on Saturday Night Live. But the glamorous pop star fantasy comes crashing down incredibly fast.
I'm worried about what's happening to her.
Lois, this is the kind of thing that always resolves itself if you just ignore it, all right?
While hanging out backstage, Meg meets Jimmy Fallon, who keeps awkwardly looking directly at the camera. He invites Meg back to his dressing room.
Peter, I'm worried about Meg. She's spiraling out of control. I mean, what if she develops a coke problem?
And the two get very familiar with one another behind closed doors. But it turns out the whole intimate encounter was actually captured on camera and broadcast live to the world as the opening sketch for SNL.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that wasn't a very good opening sketch, was it? A rare miss.
I don't think that was a sketch, Peter.
A completely heartbroken and humiliated Meg comes crying to her parents. Once Peter finally pieces together exactly what happened to his daughter, he sets out to make things right. And by making things right, I mean he tracks him down and gives Jimmy Fallon an absolute beatdown.
And looking at the camera during every sketch you've ever been in. Who do you think you are, Carol Burnett?
It is a rare fatherly WAB for Peter Griffin, proving that occasionally, he actually will step up to defend his daughter's honor.
I'm so glad to be the real me again. It's too much work being beautiful.
Not for me, but it's good to have you back, Pumpkin.
Moving on to Season 21, Episode 14, we get to see exactly what happens when you combine years of toxic parenting with high school sports. Have you ever wondered what fuels Meg's inner fire? Well, it turns out she runs entirely on the hatred and emotional damage provided by Peter, using his insults to transform into a total basketball prodigy. The story kicks off in the Adam West High cafeteria, where Meg spots the lunch lady pulling out a fresh, highly coveted tray of French bread pizza. Fully embracing her outcast status, Meg aggressively boxes out all the other students to secure the first slice, fighting off the other kids like a starving raccoon.
Honey?
The deed to the house is in the drawer under the phone.
Principal Shepard happens to witness her impressive blocking skills and asks if she has ever considered trying out for the girls' basketball team.
Have you ever considered trying out for the girls' basketball team? I've just taken the job as head coach in an attempt to build character for my upcoming divorce hearing.
Meg decides to show up to the tryouts, but initially, her skills on the court are completely terrible. However, things take a massive turn when Peter arrives in the bleachers. Instead of cheering his daughter on, Peter begins aggressively heckling her, hurling incredibly harsh insults at her from the sidelines. Out of nowhere, this intense emotional trauma triggers something deep inside Meg. Fueled entirely by a burning desire to prove her dad wrong, she transforms into an unstoppable superstar.
Do you think Dad helps me play better?
Help is a more positive word than I would use, but technically, yeah. Each time he heckled you, you played well.
Hitting absolutely nothing but net. She literally thrives on her father's toxic heckling, using his words, like loudly pointing out that this is the closest she'll ever get to hardwood, as pure adrenaline. Thanks to Peter's relentless verbal abuse, Meg leads her team all the way to the championship game.
Oh, this feels wrong, but I don't know if I've ever seen Meg succeed at anything like this before. Peter, Meg's nipples are different sizes. Get her!
But then, a major disaster strikes. Peter has yelled so much over the season that he completely loses his voice.
No, it's fine. Don't throw it to Griffin. She said...
Oh no, Peter lost his voice at just the worst time.
The MVP of the sidelines has officially sidelined himself. Without Peter screaming terrible things at her, Meg instantly loses all of her coordination and begins fumbling her free throws.
Well, that'll do it from the Adam West High Gymnasium, where the home team goes down in a 9-7 slugfest.
With the championship game on the line, Meg realizes she needs one last massive dose of emotional damage to pull off a win. She calls a timeout, marches right up to Peter in the stands, and decides to give him a taste of his own medicine to fire him up.
And now the one moment when I need it, you've got nothing?
She aggressively insults him, calling him a tubby piece of crap, and telling him that she doesn't even need his help. This reverse psychology works perfectly. Peter digs deep, pushes through his lost voice, and delivers the most soul-crushing, savage insult imaginable.
You listen to your father. From the bottom of my heart, I wish we'd never had you.
From the bottom of my heart, I wish we'd never had you. It is incredibly brutal, but it gives Meg the exact massive spike of adrenaline she was looking for. Empowered by her father's sheer lack of love, Meg turns around and hits the epic game-winning shot, proving she might just be the most athletically gifted Griffin in the entire family. Moving on to Season 8, Episode 11, we get to see exactly what happens when the family's ultimate punching bag decides to finally hit back. Have you ever wondered what would happen if Meg was pushed so far that she actually ended up behind bars? Well, in this episode, Meg transforms from a desperate teen looking for affection into a hardened, ruthless convict who returns home to run the Griffin house with an absolute iron fist. The story kicks off when Brian lands a new gig writing an article for a teen magazine and needs to research the daily habits of the average American girl. Deciding that Meg is the perfect subject, Brian and Stewie begin sneakily tailing her around town to observe her life.
It doesn't mean you have to be a creepy stalker and follow Meg around all day. It's called research, Stewie. I'm just being thorough.
However, their little research project uncovers a massive, highly questionable secret. Meg has a romantic pen pal named Luke who is currently locked up inside an adult correctional facility.
Oh my God, Meg's involved with a convict.
Wow, Meg's like one of those crazy chicks who hooks up with an even crazier guy.
Brian exposes the secret to the family, who understandably forbid Meg from continuing her dangerous prison fling. But the power of rebellious teen love proves to be too strong, and during a prison riot, Luke actually manages to break out of the slammer and makes his way to the Griffin house to visit her.
Well, quick, get in here before somebody sees you.
Brian catches the two of them together, and Peter hilariously pieces the entire situation together simply by reading the week's TV guide. Joe Swanson is immediately called to the scene, chasing down the escaped convict and arresting him.
Joe, it's Peter. Come outside. There's an escaped convict running across the street. Oh my God, I'm on my way!
But the hand of justice doesn't stop there, as Joe shockingly places Meg under arrest as well for harboring a fugitive.
Well, if you're taking him to jail, you have to take me too.
I know, that's the plan. You're under arrest for harboring an escaped convict.
Fast forward 3 months, and Meg is finally released from prison.
Meg, you look so different.
How was prison?
But the dorky, self-conscious teen girl the family once knew is completely gone. In her place is a hardened, heavily tattooed convict who immediately establishes her dominance by taking down the top dog of the house, Peter, with a brutal physical beatdown that finishes with a vicious curb stomp. Meg begins running the household by her own prison rules, treating her room like a cell by opting to go number 2 in a bucket and wiping with Lois's shirts.
What the you doing in here?
Shower time.
Ah! You told me not to worry about it! I should have been worried the whole time!
Her grip on the family is so tight that she even coerces a terrified Peter into punching baby Stewie right in the face. Meg's new attitude spills over into her high school life as well, where she completely bludgeons her former bullies at the lunch table using a heavy bag filled with soda cans. Eventually, Meg decides she needs to gather some quick cash so she can permanently skip town, so she forces Brian at gunpoint to drive her down to Mort's pharmacy to rob the register.
Hi, Meg. Can I help you?
Hands in the air, Goldman!
Oh my God! What are you doing?
Give me your money!
Just before she crosses the point of no return and commits armed robbery, Brian desperately manages to talk her down.
Look, if you don't put the gun down, I'm gonna be forced to call the police.
Good! Call the police! I want you to! What do I care if I go back to prison?
He reads her the magazine article he wrote about her, which highlights that she is actually a sweet, deeply cared for person underneath her new tough exterior. The heartfelt words finally break through her emotional walls, and Meg drops the convict act, instantly returning to her normal, everyday self, somehow losing all her tattoos in the process.
I gotta say, Meg, I like you so much better like this.
Me too, Meg. God, it must have been horrible in there.
That wasn't so bad.
For our final spot on the list, we are heading to Season 17, Episode 7, Griffin Winter Games, an episode that answers a question we have all had at some point. Does Meg have any actual talents? Well, it turns out she is secretly a highly trained Olympic athlete who completely drops her lifelong dreams to transform into a literal action hero and save her dad from a massive international crisis. The story kicks off with a massive surprise when Meg announces to the family that she is heading off to compete in a US Olympic qualifier.
Why is this the first we're hearing about this?
It's not. God, how could you guys not know about this? I've been training for years.
To everyone's absolute shock, Meg reveals she is actually an elite biathlete, a highly demanding sport that combines cross-country skiing with precision rifle shooting. It turns out, Meg has secretly been training for this moment since the very beginning of the series, going all the way back to the days when she was originally voiced by Lacey Chabert. Meg heads to the qualifiers and absolutely dominates the competition, even engaging in a hilarious throwdown against another version of herself, actually voiced by Chabert.
Thank you. I'm not really good at public speaking, so I'll just say Farple, Schlupp, Muckelblock.
Meg officially secures her spot on the US team, and the entire Griffin family packs their bags for South Korea to watch her compete in the Winter Olympics.
Anyone want to grab some food?
Sorry, Meg, I can't. I'm trying to land you some endorsements, and I have a lead with a very popular IBS medication.
But because this is Family Guy, Peter immediately finds a way to completely ruin the family vacation. While riding a train through Korea, an incredibly intoxicated Peter decides to flush his own underwear down the train's toilet.
This illegal! I want you off train!
This bizarre act of vandalism gets him forcefully booted off the train, sending him tumbling straight across the border into North Korea. He is quickly apprehended by the military and held as a prisoner of the state.
That's weird. It doesn't smell like open butt in here. Peter? He's usually up by now, dry heaving in the shower.
When Lois gets the news, she tells Meg that the family must band together to rescue him, but there is a massive scheduling conflict. Meg's Olympic race is that exact same afternoon. At first, Meg rightfully refuses to throw away her dreams.
Any of you guys, this was supposed to be my week. Down here, it's my time. It's my time down here.
Pointing out that Peter has actively avoided helping her for her entire life. However, just as Peter is standing in front of a military firing squad, Meg has a sudden change of heart. Sacrificing her shot at Olympic glory, Meg skis into the compound and uses her elite biathlon ski and shoot skills to tear through the military guards. The entire rescue mission transforms into an epic, nostalgic sequence that perfectly parodies the classic GoldenEye video game on the Nintendo 64. Armed with her rifle and completely unstoppable, Meg single-handedly takes down the guards and escorts her dad to safety. She might not have brought home a gold medal, but she definitively proved that underneath her dorky pink beanie is a highly capable, fiercely loyal action hero.
Oh, Meg, we are so sorry for how we treated you this week. You may not have won a gold medal in the games, but you won one in our hearts.